complicated concept, but in reality, all there is to it is the horror that's hiding behind the curtains. So let's pull them back, see what really happens to the victims and to the bullies. Let's start with the victims, people who are discriminated against, and in some more serious cases, terrorized. Bullying really takes a person down. It can make them feel empty and worthless inside. It can make people do horrible things to injure themselves further, such as self-harm, alcohol and drug abuse, even going so far as to commit suicide. You are still children yourself. How would you feel if one day, a child, perhaps even you, if they came home with a bloody nose covered in bruises and dull, lifeless eyes? They are completely done with what they have to put up with. The other kids at their school are not only physically abusing them, but doing it over the internet to berate them. This kid reaches into the medicine cabinet, takes some prescription pills, and swallows them all before going down to the liquor cabinet, taking the first bottle they saw, and downing it in a few quick gulps. They run to their room, grab a knife, a razor, whatever they could find, and slit their wrists before lying down in their bed, closing their eyes for the last time. Now, don't get me wrong. Not every bully victim does this, but not every suicide that happens goes this way. But why should we focus on these details? While they are important, shouldn't we focus on the problem instead? There's no real way to stop it. How do you stop what happens on the internet when kids can use fake names and different aliases? In person, the least we can do is break up fights and tell kids off, right? Right? Wrong. We need to stop this with a firm hand. Do you really want to see others die off like this? If someone is being bullied and you know who the bully is, don't you think something should happen? The bully should be suspended or expelled. Enough of phoning the parents and taking away recess for a week. That doesn't stop anything. You need to put your foot down and actually do something. But to do this, we need to get to the bottom of the problem. And do you know what that is? The bullies. How does this affect them? What makes them want to do this to other people? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. We need to press the pause button, rewind, and look at what caused them to be like this. Was it a chain reaction? That they had been injured themselves and this is their way of dealing with it? Do they feel that by making other people horrible about themselves, they can be happy? Or are they just looking for attention? Studies have shown that bullying can be linked to the child's home life. When they bully, subconsciously at the very least, they are looking for attention. They don't feel like they're getting the right needs met at home. It could just be that the child's parents are never or rarely at home, or it can even be so dire as the parent is abusing them. I'd like you to take a second and think about this. Do you fall in between these lines? Do you feel the need to hurt others so that you can get over pain you have or do suffer? I know I have. You see, when I was in grade 4, there was this kid. His name was Eric. Now, Eric had always picked on me and called me names. But that year, the mental torment turned physical. He would punch me in the hallways and push me into the lockers. And one day he dug his nails into my arm, making me bleed. When I got back to daycare, one of the teachers saw that there was blood on my arm and got me to tell her what happened. Almost immediately, she called my mom and told her what happened, and she called the school. When I got there the next day, Eric wasn't there. So I asked my teacher, what happened with him? She said he had been suspended, and if something like this happened with him again, he would be expelled. Eric would still call me names every once in a while, but he made sure not to touch me ever again. This is what I mean when I say that bullies only stop when the problem is dealt with properly. Earlier, I alluded to the point that I feel we should suspend and expel bullies. Through personal experiences, I know it works. Bullying would no longer be a problem. Things we want teenagers to stay away from would rarely occur in their minds. I'm sure that by now you agree with me, and if you don't, please reconsider my argument. If we don't do something to bring attention to bullying, then nothing will change.